Heat. We need it to survive, but too much of it can be deadly. Most people don't realize the effects of climate change and what it does to the earth. Animals such as the polar bear in the Arctic are having a harder and harder time finding the food they need because of the shrinking ice caps in the Arctic. To show you how bad the melting is, this was a picture from 1979. As you can see, it stretches all the way down into Canada. But here, in 2015, it has melted nearly 50% and is no longer touching Canada. Land ice is just as bad. On average, Antarctica loses 134 gigatons of ice per year, and Greenland loses 287 gigatons per year. To show you how much that is, 1 gigaton is equal to 1,102,311,310.92 US tons. If the world rose by 2 degrees Celsius, landslides would be more common because the permafrost holding these mountains together and what is on it would melt. Also, glaciers would start to disappear and mountain rivers would disappear, leaving millions and millions of people's water sources without water. By 2100, the oceans could rise by more than a meter, leaving parts of countries and even whole countries underwater. The country of Maldives would be basically underwater, and the country of India would be mostly underwater. If the world rose by 3 degrees Celsius, the Amazon rainforest would be destroyed by 50%, creating a ton of CO2, one of the main causes of global warming. If the world rose by 4 degrees Celsius, ice at the poles would melt, causing seas to rise by more than 50 meters and leaving cities on the coasts underwater or in islands. Places such as China, where 2/3 of their harvest feeds over 1 billion people, would see agricultural fails, leaving billions of people without food. If the world rose by 6 degrees Celsius, food would be nearly impossible to grow, and people would travel to the only places they see as inhabitable, most likely in northern Canada and Siberia. This would cause lots of war and fighting, and would most likely be the end of the human race. Now I'm pretty sure what you're thinking. How does something like this happen? Currently, the main effect of global warming is the greenhouse gas effect. The greenhouse gas effect is where heat travels into the atmosphere, and as it travels back out, is absorbed by greenhouse gases and sent back in all directions, mainly going towards the Earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. Some of these gases are nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and methane. If we have too little of the greenhouse effect, we'll end up like a planet like Mars. But if there's too much of it, you'll be like Venus, where their carbon dioxide is the main gas in their atmosphere. Historically, this carbon dioxide has never gotten above this line here. But since 1950, or the Industrial Revolution, it has spiked, and who knows what it could be like in the near future. Deforestation has also played a role because trees absorb a ton of carbon dioxide and produce lots of oxygen. Urbanization is the main cause for deforestation. Some ways you can help are by doing simple things like taking buses to work and school instead of your cars, biking and walking to nearby places, turning off the water while you brush your teeth, and using energy-saving light bulbs. The one thing I hope you take from this talk is that global warming is real and can become a real problem real fast.